Welcome back. Joining me now is Suella Fernandes, the Conservative MP for Fareham. She's taking on the Great South Run in Portsmouth next weekend, and we'll be talking about that in just a minute. First, though, I'd like to ask about migration. It's a big question here. Portsmouth Council are writing to the Home Secretary to get the city taken off the list of cities that can take in asylum seekers. First of all, can I just get your general response to that?
Well, it's clear that immigration has been a problem under Labour. Immigration got out of control. Far too many people were let into this country. Pretty much an open door policy went on for about 13 years. So we inherited quite a broken system. And I speak from professional experience. Prior to being elected, I was a barrister defending the Home Secretary in immigration cases. So I saw firsthand the practical effect of over 800,000 backlogged asylum applications. That's not just a figure. That's 800,000 people who didn't have any immigration status in this country, couldn't get a job, couldn't get housing, and were a strain on resources. So it's a real problem. We've made remarkable progress, but there's still more to be done.
So what do you think of Portsmouth Council's decision?
Well, I think that there is obviously a duty to take in refugees who are coming into this country, and I think Britain has done the right thing by offering to take in 20,000 Syrian refugees. However, I think that we do need to look at where the pressure points are around the country, and they need to be distributed in a meaningful and rational way.
Okay, so you can kind of see their reasoning behind what they've done then. I mean, you say you've made remarkable progress. The last government did fail to meet its target of getting the number of migrants coming to the UK into the tens of thousands. It failed, by quite some large amount. And that's still a promise that it's making in this manifesto. How do you think that sort of promise to keep migration down marries with this pressure now and this duty, as you sort of put it there, to take in migrants and refugees?
Well, migration can be split into two. You've got, or three maybe. You've got non-EU migration, you've got EU migration, and you've got asylum seekers. And we can't conflate the three. We achieved a huge reduction in the number of non-EU migrants coming into this country by tightening up the rules, by reducing the appeal rights, by streamlining the system. Yeah,
but it's more difficult with EU migrants. But I mean, philosophically, how do you feel? How does that kind of sit with the Conservative Party? Because it must be quite a kind of difficult territory to navigate there.
Well, I think having a target of net migration is sensible, because we need to balance proportion and compassion, and we need to be fair. And I think the Conservative Party, based on its track record, acknowledges that there's still more to be done. And that's why this week, on Tuesday, we were debating the immigration bill. And I was very pleased to support that, which put forward more measures to help us hit the right target.
Okay. Let's move on now. Let's talk about mental health. We're doing a piece just earlier on about kind of raising awareness about mental health in Southampton, and it's a big problem not only in the south but across the country. Recently I met a school teacher who teaches young children who suffers from a mental health problem. She said, well, I can't get any help for my mental health. I can't get any counselling because the only time that NHS counsellors are available is between 10 and 3 p.m. and obviously that's the same time that children are at school. So I basically am ineligible for it. Is that really good enough?
Well, I'm really concerned about mental health services, and I think there are two elements here. I think we need to blow the stigma, smash the stigma of mental health. We need to encourage people to come forward and talk about suffering from depression or struggling with other mental health issues. It's really prevalent in our society, and the more we talk about it openly without fear of recrimination or judgment, the more likely we are to find a solution.
But talking about it is one thing, but actually getting professional treatment is something else. It's just not going to come without investment.
Well, there is investment for mental health. For the first time, this government has put what's called parity of spending between main health care and mental health. That's been a new development. So they're on an equal footing when it comes to government spending. Healthcare budgets have been ring fenced, so there's not going to be cuts when it comes to healthcare. I think that locally, I've met local mental health charities like Mind, and Solent Mind provides a wonderful service of counselling, therapy, a wide range of opportunities which would be available for this lady that you're speaking about to provide and meet the need.
So you're just passing it on to the third sector then, really?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that there is safeguarded and ring-fenced funding for these services.
But it's okay at being ring-fenced, but it's just nowhere near enough to cover the needs that are out there.
Well, I think, and there is also a very active voluntary service. And I think if you look at what services are being provided, I completely accept that there are obviously difficulties with individual cases, but we are seeing a lot more delivery and reform of the kind of provision and support that people can get.
And moving on to another aspect of healthcare, you are, just briefly, we're running out of time, you're running the Great South Run next weekend. You're running that for a breast cancer charity. Tell me about that just quickly.
Yeah. Well, breast cancer affects now 1 in 3 women, actually. And in fact, the Wessex region has a particularly high rate of incidence of breast cancer. And the Haven is a wonderful charity. It's a national charity which provides counselling, free therapy, support, mentoring, just general kind of support for people who've gone through the process of chemotherapy and medical treatment, where they've got to patch their lives back together, their families are struggling, and they're opening a new centre in my constituency in Titchfield. They've raised £1 million for it already. There's still more to be done, and it's going to be opening soon.
Well, that sounds like a great cause, and people can still give money if they want to on a Just Giving page. That's right, isn't it?
I have a Just Giving page as Suella Fernandes, and it would be great to get some more sponsorship.
Thanks so much for coming in, Suella.
My pleasure.
There's a big screen extravaganza returning to Southampton. The event sees a number of short films and features shown across 3 venues, plus a number of talks from the large variety of film talent in attendance. Our reporter Ben Treppus went along to day 1 of the festival to learn more.
Where are you headed?
Anywhere. Hey, any chance you could spare some water?
Yeah, I plan on stopping as soon as I find a place. Jump in.
That's all right, man. I'm Jake.
Jake headed anywhere. I'm Smitty. Keep it right there on my arm so I don't forget.
In its current guise, the Southampton Film Festival has been running for 3 years. From humble beginnings, the size, appeal and quality of the artistry on show has increased dramatically.
As the name has become known and it's built a reputation, then more and more filmmakers are entering. So the quality of films has grown because we've had to turn films away this year. You know, in our first year it was kind of, ooh, yay, we've got some films entered. Whereas this year we had so many films and we were trying to squeeze as many in as possible. You know, we had to book an extra screen at the last minute to try and just fit more hours worth of screening time in, which was just amazing. And I think what kind of just amazes me so much is that every year there are such high quality films. You kind of think you're going to run out at some point. You know, creative people can't keep creating year on year, but the quality just is incredible, and there's some really beautiful films this year and from all over the world as well.
Winner of 10 awards and screened in over 20 countries, Beverly is a short film set in 1980s Leicester. It highlights the identity problems young people of mixed nationality faced in urban areas of Britain before multiculturalism. Alexander Thomas told me why festivals of this nature are so important to film writers.
The festival certainly encourages filmmakers to come and play a role, and I think it is really good for filmmakers, one, to watch films with audiences, but also with other filmmakers, you know, get feedback from each other, kind of learn from each other, also to meet other filmmakers, share practice and so on. So I think the kind of networking stuff the festival does around the films as well, to help people kind of meet each other and spend some time with each other, is a really positive thing. I think with short films, obviously they don't necessarily have a massive commercial market. You know, there's people go to the cinema to watch films, people buy feature films on DVD. Short films don't really have that kind of commercial thing. People don't tend to watch them, and when they do, it tends to be really short things on YouTube. So it's really important that festivals exist to give aspiring writers, directors, filmmakers of all kinds an outlet, a way to get their films seen, a way to kind of watch a film with an audience. So you learn a lot about your own mistakes when you're kind of feeling everybody else in the room reacting to your film. So it's a really important process to go through. And also, you know, it helps if you know, it kind of establishes that the film is worthwhile, it's credible and so on. If you can get official selections at these festivals and hopefully pick up some awards, then it, you know, helps to show that you're a director that might be worth somebody investing some money in to take you to the next step.
The festival runs throughout the weekend, with day passes just £10 and students in the city able to enjoy free entry. Ben Treppus, Solent News Now.
You're watching Solent News Now. Coming up on the programme, we'll have all of our top stories. Stay tuned.